TED Talks on how to, inspect your cat's beehole.
Welcome to the Beat Around the Bench podcast about woodworking, good times, and general jackassery, with your hosts, Jess of Jess Build It, Colton of Colt Crit, and Ross of RNC Woodworking and Designs. You can find us all on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. In this week's episode, we have Justin Hobart of Ambrose Design as a guest. Colton is on his way to Maker's Camp, so Justin fills in. Jess teaches us all about the history of screwing. And Ross has PTSD because the jewelry cases are back in his shop. All of that and more is coming right up on this episode of the Beat Around the Bench podcast. Now for episode 120, Old Crow Meranti Show. For today's guest, we're joined by Justin Hobart of Ambrose Design, a man so illustrious that his lovemaking was detected by a seismograph.
Interesting choice of words. So, all right, first thing, food. And because we always do like a food thing in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite, like, however you want to do this, like the whole thing from top to bottom, or like just like the best one you've ever had or whatever, burger, like a burger. Because like, I mean, it could be fast food for all I care, because I know my favorite burger.
All right. If you ready to jump in, then you do it.
Okay. So I love a Five Guys burger. I mean, I've made some of my own with like hash browns and eggs on them.
Yeah.
Like a burger with hash browns and runny eggs and bacon and avocado on like fresh rolls and stuff. But my go-to is just like a Five Guys, extra bacon. By the way, it's free. Anybody knows, you can say extra bacon and it's free.
Nice.
With like onions, mushrooms, hot sauce, everything, and those fries, and it just like falls apart. I used to work there, and so it's like, oh, it's so good. There's so many calories. It's like 1,500 calories in one burger.
I actually have two. One of them would be more of an everyday burger. There's a bar and grill or gastropub, whatever you want to call it, near me called Chiefs. And they have a burger called the Joe Burger, and it's a from-scratch version of a Big Mac, essentially, if you will. So it's 2 smash patties, pickles, lettuce, but it's a jalapeno aioli instead of the normal, like, Thousand Island, if you will.
Yeah.
Cheddar cheese and a tomato, and that's it. And it's super easy, but, like, one of the most delicious burgers.
Just cooked right, yeah.
The other one, it used to be a chain. Now it's down to like 2 locations near me called Kuma's Corner. And it is a heavy metal burger joint. And all the burgers...
have lead.
No, not yet. But
high in cobalt and lead.
That's right. So overall, all the restaurants, they had up to 6 or 8 at one point, but they were all, kind of a darker feel. They blasted like heavy, like screamo, kind of just blast beat metal music, and had metal music videos playing. And they did really well until COVID. But all their burgers start out as a half-pound burger on a pretzel bun, and then it builds from there. And they're all named after metal bands. So, for instance, the Metallica has like Ghost Peppers and a garlic aioli and bacon and a fried egg. And then the Pantera has like chorizo and jalapenos and everything. And like the Slayer burger, like the last ingredient in the Slayer burger is anger, which I think is amazing. But they actually have a rotating monthly burger, and they name them after touring, not as established, but touring metal bands. And there was one that a band that came through, and it was the band was called Goblin Cock. And so it was the Goblin Cock burger. Yeah. And it was a half-pound burger with bacon and cheddar on pretzel bun. And then they had a 1/4-pound Vienna beef sausage, which for those of you who are from the Midwest and an all-beef classic Chicago-style hot dog, that's what the base is it all beef Vienna beef dog. So they sliced it and then grilled it They butterflied it essentially, and then they had all the fixings for a Chicago-style hot dog. So mustard, relish, tomato.
Kraut.
No, God, no mustard, relish, tomato.
Cucumber.
No, it's like a neon green relish.
Okay.
Uh, sport peppers and
That's what's on the Chicago
celery
dog?
salt. Yeah.
Huh.
And a dill pickle spear. Yeah, all that
Of
stuff.
course.
And so all of that was on the burger, and it was just one of those where you're like, every bite was just like heaven on earth.
I do like a hot dog and a burger thing mix. I've done that.
So this burger, the problem, it also comes with like a half pound of waffle fries. So like you're into a food coma before you've even started, but like I finished this burger and the fries on like Friday night and didn't eat until Sunday dinner. Like I was that full. It was just, it just took that long to digest, but it was so memorable because it lasted so long. But if you're ever up in Chicagoland and you want an epic burger, Kuma's Corner is where you go.
All right, sounds good. What about you, Justin?
Could I add a twist to mine? And
yeah, whatever you want.
Because when you said that about in a food coma, it immediately brought me back to a chicken sandwich that I had.
Okay.
From a little place up in Michigan, in Monroe, Michigan, called Eureka Eatery.
Mm-hmm.
You pull up to it, and I promise you would tell me, "Please turn around. I am not eating here," because it's at a.
I've been to the beef jerky outlet in Monroe, Michigan. I know most of the eateries in that area are
rough,
questionable at best.
Yes. So when you're driving around, you're like, do I want to pull over and eat here?
Yeah.
But I worked up there enough, so we had enough time to find enough places up there, and so we pull off to this gas station place that everybody swore by, and they said you have to try it. So we go there on break one day and get this chicken sandwich, and I bought these really good waffle fries with it, and get back out to the truck, and I start eating the chicken sandwich, and it's got like obviously the nice chicken on there, but it's got like this coleslaw and this sauce, and I literally forgot that I had fries.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I finished it, and I was like, oh my God, I actually forgot I even had fries.
So what about a burger though?
So so I was thinking back, and when I lived in Lorain, Ohio area, there's a place in Elyria called Smitty's, and they actually had a couple presidents go by there and eat there, and it's a Smitty burger, but it's pretty much just like their version of a Big Mac. So it's like two smashed patties between the bun and the lettuce and the pickles, and then there's Smitty sauce.
Okay.
Can't know what that is though. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's delicious.
It's just mayo they leave out in the sun.
Yeah, right.
It's probably or presidents like that have died.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just thought I'd think about that. I mean, like it's like kind of my go-to when I go out to eat or whatever. Like I just like if I don't know the place, like a big old steak burger or something's usually pretty good. McGuire's in Destin and Panama City, or Destin and Pensacola, they have really good burgers there, but they get wild. Like the garbage burger has like Spam and ice cream and everything else. It's like this tall.
I will give you guys one hack because I travel a lot for my day job, so I've gotten to know this. But if you're ever in the mood for an amazing burger and you're like, I don't want to spend a ton of money, but I want something really good, you can go into almost any steakhouse, and I'm talking like a real steakhouse, not like just an Outback, but like a real like a Morton's or Perry's, or name a national steakhouse chain, and you can walk in, and if you sit in the bar area, they typically have a burger that's made of ground up top sirloin, and they'll usually throw in some bacon or something into that mixture. But it's usually at least just top sirloin, if not better. And they ground it up and they make them all fresh in-house. And it's like a $12 burger with steak fries. And it's going to be one of the better burgers you've ever had. Right. But you can only get it when you're sitting at the bar or in the bar area at a really nice steakhouse.
And they probably cook it right.
They cook it perfectly because they're used to doing steaks all day. So they absolutely crush it. So if you guys are traveling somewhere and you're like, you know what, I don't just want another fast food burger, or even if you go to Five Guys, you're still dropping $15 for a burger and fries. Why not go to a really nice steakhouse and just sit in the bar and have the same thing? So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
All right. Well, Justin, this is usually the part of the show where we ask our guest, how did you get into woodworking? So
Yeah,
why
well,
don't you give
before
us...
we even jump into that, for those of you who have never, for those of the listeners out there who have never heard of you or met you, can you give us an elevator pitch about who you are, what you do,
Yeah.
and potentially why you're here?
All right, so my name's Justin Hobart, originally from, like I said, Lorain, Ohio. You wouldn't know if I said North Ridgeville, Ohio, but little town, North Ridgeville, Ohio, and moved to Toledo, Ohio for school, for college, and then after that, worked at a maximum security prison for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that is actually how I got into woodworking. But after I stopped working there, got a job doing, well, yeah, got a job at USA Insulation. And so I was there for a little while. And then the wife and I had this place down here in Florida that we would always come to because it was her parents' property. And eventually we asked because nobody was living down here. It was just empty. And so we'd kind of jokingly said, like, can we move down there? Like, if that was ever a possibility. And finally enough years went by and they said, like, why don't you guys go? You know, we don't have any kids. It's just us. And so, and our two cats. And so we just said, screw it, let's go down here. And I, you know, from doing the woodworking while I worked at the prison,
So explain that, like how you did woodworking in the prison.
well, I mean, I couldn't really get into it when I first started working there because for like the first 2 years, because I was doing like basically 16-hour shifts every other day. And
Okay.
so that kind of, wore me down a lot. And
That sounds
obviously,
great when you're working in a maximum security prison.
Yeah, it
Sound
sounds
like you're on
wonderful.
your, total, all your senses are ready to go.
yeah. And I was unfortunately a second to third shifter, more or less. And so I was, going in at,
3
I don't know.
p.m.
Yeah. And then not leaving until 6 a.m.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was great.
But they had like they have a wood shop there or something?
Well, no. So I actually just started. My dad had like an old craftsman table saw that I got from him, and I put that in my basement of the house that my wife and I had bought. It was our first house we got. It was this old, it was built in like 1903 or something like that. I mean, real nice wooden old house, and the basement was like almost 6 foot tall. It was, not really a
Ooh.
basement, but it,
A
it was
cellar?
there. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it,
It's an
it served
extended
its,
crawl space.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I ended up like putting all my woodworking stuff down there, made the basement a complete and total disaster. I ended up putting like a one of the Wen air filtration systems up in there
Mm-hmm.
even, and just completely turned it into my workshop down there. And then I eventually spray foamed my garage and put all my stuff out there. But so yeah, it's slowly snowballed, making cutting boards, just like started doing a lot of Dremel hand carving and stuff, like a lot of that. I thought I was going to be like, doing the hand chisels and stuff a lot. Actually, I started doing a lot of rings, like the handmade rings and
Oh,
stuff and the
wow.
inlays. Yeah.
That must have been fun to try and size stuff for people.
Yeah, yeah. I eventually got like a sizer, and then I actually found a lot of websites that would do ring blanks and stuff, and like actually have like full, carbon titanium ring blanks and stuff that you would never think like I could never do that, but there's a lot of companies out there that have those kind of blanks, the opals, the all kinds of different things like the mini lathes and all sorts of stuff just to, I mean, that was what I could do in my space. And I liked that intricate little work. And so that's what I kind of went for.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
What are you making a lot of now? What are you woodworking? What are you building?
So when I first started at Ambrose, we were doing a lot of, custom work. We were doing, hidden puzzle tables with like the full walnut, topper on them. And we did, I mean, a bunch of cool things and stuff. The stuff, that everybody wants to do.
Yeah.
The place that you worked at before us, they did a lot of commercial stuff, right?
A big commercial, yes. So it was a wood shop here in Tarpon, and so when I first moved here, like within a week, I gotten a phone call from the business owner, and basically got the job on the spot. So went into work like the second week we moved in here, and we were, I mean, kind of trial by fire, because it was either figure it out or you're out of here. And so
Nice.
it was a lot of lamination, a lot of a lot of intricate stuff, where at first I was like, I wasn't sure if I was really ready for it, because the owner was really intimidating, and it just, I wasn't sure about it at first, because that was my first time going into an actual woodworking position.
Yeah.
I had never had an actual quote unquote job as a woodworker, but I did a lot of it, a lot of it in my spare time. I even built my own or bought a CNC, built it, and taught myself how to use it. And so I knew I had confidence in, what I could do, but I just needed a little bit of time to get to know it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they doing like restaurants and stuff. What kind of
Yeah, so we were doing a number of restaurants, we stayed away from the residential stuff, but she had a full CNC in the shop, so we were doing, all of our cabinets and stuff were built in house, like literally on the CNC every day, putting on new sheet for different cabinet cutouts and stuff. And that's what I actually really wanted to get into when I got there, because I started with my CNC and doing a lot of the G code and that kind of stuff, and so I wanted to learn that. But she was the owner was more of a, you got to start down here before you can get up here.
Absolutely. You got to know how the basic hand tools work first.
Yep.
Okay. So quick question. What's the least favorite project you've ever done?
the roof that we just
The roof. Honestly, a lot of my spray foaming jobs when I worked at USA Insulation,
Yeah.
those were absolutely miserable.
Did you have to like crawl under crawl spaces and just spray stuff down there, or what?
Any like terrible, horrible, nasty space that you can imagine, I was in there.
That sounds awesome.
and it's like 150 degrees with your suit on.
Yeah, you're in a full Tyvek suit. I have a spray sock on and a full face respirator, so I wasn't allowed to have this. I had to keep that trimmed down. So you had a full face, the spray sock, your full Tyvek suit, your gloves, and you're duct taped shut, and your booties on your boots, those are duct taped shut.
So you were probably coming out of that and literally like pouring out sweat.
Sloshing.
I was going to say, Jess can tell you how much I sweat on a normal day when I'm not in a sweatsuit.
Yeah. Yeah, he's it's been hard. This summer's been hard for both of us, I think, honestly. We've had some days like as soon as you hit the sun, it's like I can't do this for like 10 minutes and then you get out of it.
So you guys are going to be jealous. The high today in my area was 65 degrees.
Heck yeah.
It was 46 when I woke up and I was so excited.
Oh wow. Yeah, It's cooling off here though. It's been nice. It's been nice lately.
Tomorrow's going to be like 78.
Yeah, there you go. That's great for us.
There you go.
And now that we're finally working inside.
Yeah.
Well, I think this would be a good opportunity to learn a little bit more about you, Justin, and not in ways that most people would think of. But we like to ask obscure questions. There's no wrong answer. There's no right answer. It's really rapid fire, and we're doing it to try and learn more about who you are and what you're all about. So Jess is going to ask as many questions as he can. It'll be a 3-minute timer. And I think the goal you're trying to beat is 28 questions answered.
27, 28, something like that.
As I said, you don't have to get them all right. Just the goal is to go faster rather than anything else. So,
but you also have to be funny and charismatic. And if you're not, then
absolutely,
our listeners will hate you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are you ready, Justin?
I am ready.
Jess, are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, and so just to keep in mind, a little explanation after like why you picked that is not necessary, but
It can add to the humor. Yeah.
suggested. Yes. Okay.
All right. The 3 minutes will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. If animals could talk, which species would be the biggest jerk?
Cats.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. What's the dumbest thing you've ever convinced someone to believe?
That working in a prison was a good idea.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 50 duck-sized horses?
One horse-sized duck.
Okay. If you were a kitchen appliance, which one would you be and why?
A butcher knife.
Why?
Because I love my knives.
Okay, you cut stuff up. All right. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten out of boredom?
What was her name?
Shoot. Boredom.
What was her name?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. Like, crap.
You eat crap for breakfast?
Well,
God.
This fluffy Korean candy that my wife had bought.
Okay. If you suddenly woke up as a potato, what would your first move be? You still have arms and legs.
Find Mrs. Potato Head.
Okay, there you go. If your life had a warning label, what would it say?
Oh, warning.
Slippery when wet?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Slippery when wet.
Okay. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Go-to karaoke. It'd have to be wow, I'm blanking out now. It's got to be Opalite by good old Taylor.
Okay, how many drinks does it take before you attempt it?
Oh, at least 10.
Okay, all right. If you were given $10,000 to spend only at a gas station, what would you buy?
All the Buc-ee's merch possible and then resell it.
Okay. If your phone could talk, what's the first thing it would roast you for?
Why am I always so sweaty in your pocket?
Okay. Would you rather have to loudly narrate everything you do or sing all your sentences like a musical?
I'd love to sing all my sentences as a musical every day.
Okay. If aliens landed tomorrow and asked for a human to represent Earth, would you volunteer or nominate your weirdest relative?
I'm taking that all day because nobody else would believe me.
Oh, I just lost it. Okay. If you could delete one common word from the English language just to confuse people, what would it be? Yeah, that's what I would say. All right, you're stranded on a desert island with one condiment. What is it?
10 seconds.
One condiment, ketchup.
What's something you could easily give a TED Talk on?
Time.
All right, you didn't get to it. What would your answer have been for that?
For the TED Talk?
Yeah, but it says what's something you could easily give a TED Talk on, but shouldn't.
Is TED Talks about anything?
Yeah.
TED Talks are just about anything.
But you shouldn't.
Probably like GoldenEye on Nintendo 64.
TED Talks on how to, inspect your cat's beehole.
Oh, God. That's interesting. Okay.
I thought you were going to go with something along the same lines, but in the prison. So
yeah,
it's a good thing you went with the cat.
I was trying to just, not focus on that.
So I have a question. He said something to me today. 12.
Oh,
12. Have you ever heard this, Ross?
yes, you have.
The number 12? Yeah.
If somebody yells out 12, what does that mean?
12.
Push up?
In Chicago, you should know it.
Come on.
I don't know.
If somebody's like, hey, man, 12.
You got me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Police.
It means the police are there somewhere.
Police.
No, that's not
It's
what they
like
yell
code.
here.
No.
Oh, come on.
I can't imagine what they yell there. All right, well, you got 14. 14.
I got 15 because you did ask him how many beers it would take
there's
or drinks.
2. That's right. That
to
is
get
15.
the karaoke song.
Correct. So we'll give him 15 on that. Well, good job.
Yeah,
we learned
well
a little
done.
bit about you. I appreciate it very
Well
much.
done.
I am interested this week to hear if you have done any woodworking, Ross, and more importantly, how did your jewelry case that you're having trouble, because I was talking to Justin about how you're having problems with those stupid drawer glides, because we've had the same problems, Justin too, and how it all turned out.
The drama unfolds. All right.
I just want everybody to know, I get a text at like late one night, and he's like, I got to go to town. I got to get this thing done. It's not fitting. I tried to fix this one thing because I forgot to do this other thing, and now I can't get anything to fit back in there. And I'm like, oh man, I had like butterflies because I've been in the same position. Like, you know, we had to like be at a job at like 3 a.m. or something because it was a business, and I had to get there before it opened, and we had to set up and install and all that. So I gave you my best advice that I could think of at the time.
And Jess, your advice was a lifesaver. I will say that.
Well, that's good.
I was able to your advice. So the backstory. Obviously, the last episode, I had been working on these jewelry cases. They've been giving me all kinds of fits. Couldn't get the drawers to align correctly. Couldn't get them to go in. I thought it was bad drawer rails. I bought new drawer rails. Stuff was just not lining up correctly, and I had measured everything. I knew it was perfectly aligned. It wasn't working. And essentially, I had gotten all the drawers to be able to go in. And then I realized that I had forgotten to cut the channel for the locks because this customer wanted locking drawers, and they wanted one key to lock all 3 drawers in each bank. So it has to be aligned, and you have to be able to get the key to turn the one mechanism to have all the locking parts go up and down.
Like a bar go
Yes.
up and down or something. Yep. Okay.
And so I forgot to cut the channel for that because I was in a rush of building everything, but I had, I still had an opportunity to fix that. So I had taken the interior middle divider out of the cabinet, which was perfectly aligned to get all the drawers in. I took it out to be able to cut that channel, and I was like, I have marked where everything was. It should be able to go right back in. Same screw holes. We'll be okay. I cut everything. I went to put everything back in. Even though I put it exactly where I had marked, nothing fit. And I was literally panicked because I was leaving on Monday, and I think I texted you, was it Friday night or Saturday night, Jess?
It was a weekend, I think.
Yeah, so probably Saturday night. I had literally been in the shop since 7:30 in the morning working on trying to get things done, and I thought it was just as simple as assembly. But then I realized it wasn't. I still had to put in all the channel for the LED strips, and then the diffusers, which, by the way, the diffusing covers work really, really well, Jess.
That's cool.
You should try that. But I had to put in the locks. I had to do all that stuff. I had to then install all the drawer hardware, and just everything was taking more and more time. I still had to attach the bases. I had to attach the wheels to the bases and the bases to the cabinets. So everything was built separately so I could paint it all. Long story short, Jess helped me out, probably saved me 4 hours of work. And his suggestion was take out all the screws that are on the middle divider, put in all the drawers, and then put in new screws in new screw holes, because the drawers, when you put them all in, will kind of self-align everything.
Right.
And then you'll be able to adjust from there and just lock it in. And I was like, I like that idea. Perfect. So I get everything in. I was not happy at all with the build quality. I was even less happy with the paint quality. I had drips. I had smudges. I had some spots that I was like, it's just not up to my normal caliber, but I just have to get this thing out of my shop. And so then delivery day comes, and I had pushed it back twice, well, multiple times. I deliver Sunday morning at 9:30 in the morning, and I get everything loaded onto the trailer, and I had asked for some help from family to load up everything, and the blankets that we grabbed, we didn't look at before we put it onto white cabinets, and apparently they had some grease stains on them, and it stained half of them. Half the blankets stained the white finish on one cabinet, and the other one we put on brand new blankets, and all the little blue fuzzies that were on all those moving blankets
On fresh paint.
on fresh paint all went into everywhere on these cabinets. And then we ratchet stuff down. There was some scuffs there.
Yeah.
And then we deliver everything, and I get it there, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I kind of just have to deliver it. And the customer had one of her employees come in to kind of take a look at stuff as well. And both of them are fairly nitpicky customers. They've been really, really nice, but fairly nitpicky. And as soon as I brought it in, they were like, there's this problem and this and this and this and this and this. And I was like, tell you what, here are the pieces for right now. I will come back. I'm leaving town tomorrow. I will come back this coming Friday, and I will fix everything. And as I went out of town, I had to go to Columbus, Ohio, actually, Justin, for work. So I go to Columbus, Ohio, and I'm sitting on the plane to come home on Thursday, and I text the customer. I'm like, based on the amount of work that has to get done to actually make this right, I hate to do this, but I think I want to pick up these pieces and bring them to my shop rather than tear up your whole shop. Yeah, like do it right. And she was like, I'm really, really, really glad that you said that, because there's a lot of issues here and I didn't want to be rude about it, but like, we need to make this right. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. So I went back on Friday and I picked up both of the pieces, and they are back in my shop, and I have been sanding them. I have fixed 95% of the issues. Still have one drawer that's being a little finicky on, like, it doesn't just align 100% flush. It sticks out on like one edge by like 1/8 of an inch on like
Sitting
the drawer
in there
front.
cockeyed.
Yeah, just slightly, but like I can't figure out how to fix it. But that's a different story.
You can put it in the slot.
But the customer asked if I could lacquer the entire piece, because she's like, I want this to look like Italian high-end modern furniture. And I was like
gloss?
Yeah,
Come
like
on.
high gloss. And I was like, well, you sent me a picture before of this other thing, and I built it like this other thing. She was like, yeah, but I have these trays that are high gloss and they've withstood they've withstood the test of time. So could you do that? And I'm like,
No.
I will do what I can. So I actually today I've been working. Normally, I just go to Home Depot and I get that bare cabinet enamel paint that you talked about.
You can get it if you spray it semi-gloss. It's not so bad.
So I've actually been working. I set up an account at JC Licht. I don't know if you guys have those by you guys.
No.
So it's a higher end painters store, like professional painters store. There's a chain of them up by me, but they work exclusively with Benjamin Moore. And
so, Benjamin Moore makes the gloss.
Yeah. So I worked with them. I worked with their rep, and I was like, this is what's going on. I don't want to spray lacquer, but I need something that works like a lacquer. So I picked it up today. I'm hoping to finish sanding and prepping tomorrow and be able to spray probably Saturday, maybe Sunday. But essentially, they got me their I think it's their accent paint, which is it cures like a lacquer. After 2 weeks, it ends up being just like a lacquer, and it's extremely high gloss.
You could like buff it, yeah.
Yeah, and they gave me a primer that works better with that. So
you need a high build primer, so you can sand it. Yeah, almost like a green filler.
Yes. Yeah. So being that I already have multiple coats of Kills on there, and then the paints as well, I have plenty of the pores filled out. I'm not as worried about that side. So now, once I fix all the issues and repair everything, then I will come back and prime everything and paint everything again and get it all ready to go so that I can deliver it. I got to figure out how I'm going to do that with moving blankets that are cleaner and everything else.
Here's the question. This is what we started doing, and this is because the same situation that you had where the paint and the blue blankets and like sawdust and dirt and everything gets stuck.
Yep.
So it's cheaper to buy it on Amazon. I'll buy you some stretch wrap. And stretch wrap the whole thing first, then put the blanket over the stretch wrap. Never put the blanket directly on the paint, and then you can use the stretch wrap to hold the blanket on.
So I know I'm going to need I'm going to need to let the paint cure before I put the stretch wrap on it.
Of course, yeah, you'll get marks.
Yeah. So they said it's a 2-week total cure time. I think if I can do, and that's talking to like lacquer hardness, like you could throw rocks at it and they bounce
Well, you're
off.
supposed to be able to buff lacquer. That's why.
Yeah. My guess is, and this paint is supposed to self level as well on things, so it'll level out some of the issues. But my hope is to be able to do that, to get the paint on this weekend, and then let it go for a full week where it cures, and then the following weekend wrap it and deliver it, and then just say, hey, by the way, this will be 100% cured by the following weekend, but just be gentle with it this first week.
So our Benjamin Moore that's over close, remember when I was buying Renner?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
That is a lacquer based paint.
Yep.
And they made a gloss, but the problem with Renner is it was very thin.
Yep.
But since you have such a good base, you're good. It was very thin and it did self level. It did dry very fast and dry very hard, but it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick to like you have to have a primer under it. Like scuffing it, I wouldn't even suggest because it's so thin. You'd scuff it and then you'd see the scratches from the scuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I couldn't use it. And it's $100 a gallon, but the cabinet enamel stuff, we had some stuff where they had gloss. They had hand painted, self leveled gloss, oil base, crown molding in the house.
Wow.
And they wanted us to do everything in gloss. And I'm like, sure. And I was like, go buy semi-gloss and spray it. So we bought semi-gloss. We did a high build primer, sanded the snot out of it, almost like it was Bondo, and then cleaned it and then sprayed 2 or 3 coats pretty heavy with the semi-gloss, and it looks pretty darn glossy. It's just about your prep beforehand. I feel bad for you, Ross.
I mean, it is what it is. I did learn today when I went to the JC Lick store that the nozzles or the spraying nozzles that I was using before were a little bit too wide and too heavy, and that's why I was getting a lot of the drips. Like I was at a 313.
Yeah, you need to be like a 2 something.
Yeah, so basically they wanted me at like a 210 for the finish paint and 212 for the primer. So these are both water-based products, which I really wanted so that I could clean them correctly. I didn't want to have to go through like 5 gallons of paint thinner or lacquer thinner.
No.
So, yeah.
Well, we bought the one at the shop because Ross bought it.
Yeah.
We were using the Wagner, and then we bought that because Ross did it. And I said, you know what? It's about the same price. Let's get it.
The thing is nice.
It's really, really
and you can
good
buy all
job.
the different tips for it. You know, they're Graco grade tips, but the problem would be if it was like white, there's no tint, and the small tip wouldn't spray because it's thicker, right? When you put the color in it, then it thins out. So I guess you just have to add just the right amount of water where it'll spray, but not too much so that it drips, and just lots of light coats. But you'll get it.
That's where I'm
said
at.
Those are jewelry boxes or cabinets?
So they are rolling jewelry display cabinets. Yes. So there are 2 banks of 3 drawers in each one that are they're basically 40-inch wide drawers.
That's one of your problems right there.
Yeah, they're 40-inch wide by 24 deep.
Wow.
Well, convince Ross to switch over to undermounts. Because undermounts
After
are
this,
so. Just watch. You know who has a good video is Jason Hibbs on how to do undermount drawer guides, and you can buy them on Amazon now. You can buy them anywhere. They got all these adjustments, and like with your particular situation where you have inset drawer fronts, you can just honestly, what I would do is I would put a cleat. I'd put a 3/4 cleat, the height of the drawer thing down the side, so that way it brings that in a little bit, and then that way you don't see like a little metal on the side when you close the door, and you just would see like a little tiny spot. And if anything, you could put like a little backstop all the way around it. But we have found that that's the reason that these commercial cabinet companies are using these drawer lights, because over time, even some of them, the rear where instead of hard mounting it to the cabinet,
Mhm.
it mounts to the face frame in the front if you have that type of cabinet.
Yep.
And then it mounts to like this little thing in the back, and it slides left
Oh,
and right in the back. So like as something changes, like it'll adjust for the drawer, it'll adjust for seasons, it'll adjust for everything.
oh.
Ours are metal, but I've even seen it with plastic ones.
That
Now
would save me so much time.
well, so here's the kicker with them. Here's the kicker with those. In order for it to work, the cabinet has to be a specific depth.
Yep.
The all of this stuff has to be a very specific size, and you have no way to figure out without a special tool where to put that clip in the back. So it's like you have to there's a guy that made a tool that like you put it on the face frame, and then it makes the spot for the two holes in the back, and then you just draw it, and then you can put your clip on. When we get our cabinets from the factory, it's all already CNC holes, so we know. And I've like measured it and like tried to figure it out, and I can't really find any rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
But if you can get like literally make a fake cabinet and a fake drawer to learn what those measurements are and write it all down, you'll be gold. You'll be absolutely gold with that. And then everything kind of like moves and adjusts on its own. And you can even with inset, you can roll these little things underneath, and it'll adjust the drawer front like this or in and out like that, just ever so slightly.
Oh God.
And it's like Glory Be. It's like Glory Be, because all you got is a slot on a side mount.
Yeah. And that's what I'm working with right now. And if there is the slightest taper, if things aren't exactly 90 degrees, and I will say my exterior walls are perfectly square. I made sure I glued them up with 90 degree, angle clamps and everything. My interior like middle divider, I put it in after I had built the entire cabinet, and so therefore it is not perfectly square, and that 1/16 of an inch taper from one side to the from the front to the back, left to right, is what's throwing me off.
Yeah, that's why we started doing like making a cart, like a template of like 1/4 inch scrap or something, and laying it so they're actually tight on both sides. The other thing is when you have a middle divider and it's only one piece of plywood. Have you ever seen a flat piece of plywood? They're always curved.
Mine
a
is
bit.
two pieces of plywood. So
it is two. It is a double. Well, that's good. That's good that you did that. So
because I knew the screws would be hitting into each other otherwise.
They could be. Yes, absolutely.
We use all side mount drawer glides on the display bin, the 8 display bin boxes, right?
Yeah, we did. As a matter of fact, we just did. Well, the thing is when it starts getting over like 20 something inch wide drawer or whatever, 30 inch, I start getting nervous, because unless it's really deep, because we did a salon. I think you remember doing that. They had like these 50, 60 inch wide drawers. Those things did not close right. They weren't very deep. They just never closed right because there's just too many things moving around. It's too much leverage.
Too much variation.
We should have just done undermount, because you have too much leverage with that drawer, and they don't roll nice and smooth. They never will.
Nope.
And so,
especially once you put weight in them. Yeah,
they're good for like. Well, now at this point, they're not good for anything. I mean, to me, they're just as good as those little. It's the funny thing is those little cheapies with the little roller.
The little white ones. I hate
the
those.
3/4. Yeah, but they work.
Yeah,
they just everything rolls so good in them. Anyway. Well, live and learn, and you have to make your drawer a little bit different, but it's really not quite hard at all. And,
I've done it before on a smaller cabinet, but I went with the side mount because the face frame, it came in a little bit, and I was like, I can inset the drawers then, and it'll work the way that I want, and it's been one nightmare after another with this project, and I hate to say it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. You'll get it.
To be done with it.
You'll get done with it though.
Yeah.
You'll get done with it. You'll figure it out.
Yep, I will.
Well, now you're not like on a rush. Now you've got time
so
to
I agreed. However, I have travel for my day job, not a ton of travel, but a little bit of travel over the next like 4 or 5 days. And I have to, she has an event in her shop on the 23rd and she needs stuff no later than the 20th. So I have like 10 days from tomorrow to get everything like delivered. But she also wants me to build these partition walls, which are literally 2x4 frame with some casters and
Got it.
half-inch plywood on either side. And then she wants some like, galvanized pipe as something to hang hangers off of. But
They sell
she
that stuff
wants
on
like,
Amazon cheaper.
yeah, exactly. But like she wants 4 of those, I believe, and she wants them to lock where same thing you'd have for like the leaves on a table with that like sliding U like half moon lock underneath.
Yeah.
That's what she wants them to lock with, on the front and the back. And I'm like, that's not
Just
the best
it's a
option,
window
but okay.
sash. It's a window sash thing. Yeah, you could. It'd be all right. Well,
Yeah.
the pipes. We bought all these pipe things for shelf hangers for our house that she can hang stuff on, and real pipe is really expensive. This fake pipe is just as thick and it's much better, and it's super cheap. So. Well,
I have to get the estimate over to her probably tomorrow so she can put down a deposit on that so I can paint everything the same and get it done.
All right.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right.
How about you boys?
All right. We're in construction mode right now. We actually had a toy box to build. He did.
Nice.
She canceled.
So
because she
get
had
to keep
somebody
the toys?
get sick. No, he didn't make it yet. He didn't even know anything about it. So I drew it and sent it to her. She paid a deposit, and then she didn't respond for like a week. And then she said, my family's sick in Michigan. I have to leave, and I don't even know how long I'm going to be gone. So we're giving her a refund, and that's done with that. But we're still waiting on a deposit for that countertop at the Trade Winds, which he actually worked at one point.
Nice.
That got flooded right after he got done with it. So we're still waiting on that. And then, that's it. We just got all the drywall up and windows in, and I put in, we made a door from scratch, just from a blank, from a slab. And it was a very odd shaped hole. So we had to redo the frame, and we actually had to take the hinge pockets that were in the jamb. So we did the super glue and wood glue trick.
Yep.
And put them in, filled them back with wood, then rerouted them, to actual proper hinge hole size because they'd been chiseled out so bad they were like garbage, and did all that stuff, and kind of made a door and a door frame from scratch in an existing opening. So that was fun. And then we are going to be putting on siding, hardy siding.
Nice.
All day tomorrow and Monday.
Which way are you guys attaching it? Like, are you pin nailing it, or like, what are you doing?
So the hardy siding is a 1/2-inch sheets 4x8. Okay. That's going to go, and it's smooth and pre-primed. So that's going to go on top of the sheathing over the Tyvek.
Yep.
That just gets stapled on.
Okay.
And then it's got 1x6 trim on the corners where it meets the house, where the addition meets the house. A top, like we'll call it a freeze board, and a base board. And then we couldn't find 1x4 hardy, so we got 1x4 PVC for around the windows and doors as a trim. And then we're going to do 1x3 battens over the seams of the, so it'll be like board and batten, and then it'll all get caulked and painted by the painter, and they'll come spray it, and then they're going to put soffit on, and it'll be really pretty.
Nice.
And never ever rot. So
love
ever. That. Yeah, it can't. You can put it underwater. Hardy, you can put underwater for 10 years and it still looks the same. You just have to keep it caulked properly so you don't get water behind it. But even if it did, there's so much Tyvek and seal tape behind everything. I don't even know what would. It just lasts forever.
Awesome.
So,
be there forever.
So Jess, with that in mind, and you were saying that kind of wraps up things for you guys. Do you want to jump into your extended trivia / history / extension? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I've got a whole list of trivia. We're going to do it a little bit different, so you guys will need a pad of paper only because I don't want to keep track of it.
Okay. Do you need, what jingle do you want? What segment are we calling this?
We are calling this.
Oh, perfect.
We are calling this Screwed, Fastened, and Driven.
I mean, it's the history of woodworking.
Okay, so this is how we're gonna try this and see. Sometimes I try these new things and they suck. Oh, pardon my French. and they suck, and it gets all confusing and stuff. So that's why I'm not going to keep track of it, because I can't do two things at once, as Justin knows and Ross knows.
Yep.
So I'm going to give you $1,000. So write down $1,000.
Hold on one second.
Do I need a calculator?
I got one.
Well, that'll
Don't
be
worry.
up to you. That'll be up to you.
I'm gonna need a calculator.
Yeah, you might need a calculator.
Okay,
So I'm going to give you $1,000 to start in your bank.
1,000 each.
1,000 each.
Okay.
So Ross has 1,000. Justin, you have 1,000.
Okay.
And I am not going to read the question to you, but I am going to read you a little bit about what the question might be about. First, we'll give you a little history, a little education, and then the following question will have something to do with that realm. And you're going to both bid whether or not you think you'll get the question right or not.
Okay.
And so you may get into positive, you might be negative, right? So if you get the question wrong, you're going to lose that money, just like in Double Jeopardy, or you might. Is regular Jeopardy? Do you lose
Regular
money?
Jeopardy, yeah, just Jeopardy.
Yeah, okay. You might lose money, or you might gain money, and then we'll have some bonus questions, which will be worth double your bid at the end. I have quite a few of those. They're quite difficult questions. And then at the end, we'll see who's the winner, the wiener.
I like it.
All right. So it'll be fun. And you will also, I will give you your multiple choice. Please write down your multiple choice and do not lie about what you wrote down for your multiple choice.
Okay.
And then you guys give me your answers, and we'll see who got it right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So this week is about Screwed, Fastened, and Driven, the story of screwdrivers and fasteners. Ross, I said, what do you got? You got any ideas? He goes, what about screwdrivers? I was like, well, how can I make that interesting? So I brought all the different fasteners in it and stuff. We talked about wood recently, logging, like how they like rate wood, and like we've talked about all these like technical things about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now let's get down to how you put the wood together, right?
Yeah.
Or metal in this case.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Metal!
So just a quick backstory: screws, bolts, drivers, and clever little minds invented them, from medieval craftsmen shaping hand-cut threads and iron to high-speed impact drivers and Torx bits. Now, this is the story of how humans got screwed in the best possible way. All right. So I'll throw in some advanced trivia questions. These are not going to be obvious ones, and we'll see how much you guys really know about this stuff. So screws, the earliest fasteners. All right.
Yep.
Screws are older than most people realize. The concept, this is the first time I've read this, goes back to the 1st century BCE.
Really?
When Greek inventor Archytas of Tarentum developed the screw principle to lift water, basically an early auger. But as fasteners and screws didn't appear until the 15th century, when metalworkers began cutting spiral threads. We had a segment about that not too long ago, by hand. They cut it into like wood and metal. They would like literally like figure out how to cut them in there. But back then there were no like drivers. Craftsmen use like slotted screws, and they tightened them with simple flat blade tools or even knives. It was very slow, tedious, and it required patience. So question number 1. Okay. What's your bid, Ross?
200, Jess.
Okay. And what's your bid? Write that down, 200.
Yep.
What's your bid, Justin?
200.
Okay, so we're both bid 200. The first question is, which famous Renaissance figure is credited with designing one of the first machines capable of cutting uniform screw threads? Is it A, Johannes Gutenberg, B, Leonardo da Vinci, C, Galileo, or D, Archimedes? Lock in your answers.
Okay.
You got your answer locked in,
Yeah,
Justin?
are there no dumb answers here, or are we going to get made fun of?
What? No, you will not get made fun of. Everybody gets them wrong. It's okay.
True
All
story.
right, you got your answer locked in, Justin?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What do you have, Ross?
I have D, Archimedes.
Okay, and what do you have, Justin?
D.
You are both incorrect. You both lose $200. It was Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci sketched one of the first screw cutting machines in the late 1400s, featuring a sliding carriage and a cutting die. Centuries ahead of his time. Okay. Wow. All right. So now we have how this is going to go. All right. So moving on. So now you're down to both to 800. I got that part. So the Industrial Revolution, we talked about this the other week, the age of the thread. By the 18th century, precision metalworking kind of like changed things because they came up with like the metal lathe. So the lathe became the key to mass producing screws. Early standardization began with Joseph Whitworth, 1841. He developed the first uniform thread form for bolts and nuts, known as the British Standard Whitworth, or the BSW. All right. That consistency made mass production possible and even eventually inspired threads standards that we still use today. All right. Which brings up question number 2. What are you going to bid, Ross?
100 there, Bob.
Okay. And what do you got, Justin?
Let me get another 200.
All right. We're going to go big or go home. All right, so Whitworth Standard inspired which American thread system still used in woodworking and construction today? Is it A, the Unified National Thread, B, Metric ISO, C, Acme Thread, or D, BSP or British Standard Pipe?
Can you read those answers again?
I absolutely can. Unified National Thread, Metric ISO, Acme Thread, or BSP, which stands for British Standard Pipe. Whitworth Standard inspired which American thread system?
Oh.
Lock in your answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What do you have, Justin?
I have C.
C, Acme Thread. And you, Ross?
I also have C, Acme Thread.
Incorrect, both again. All right. Justin's down to 400 now.
No, he's
600.
down to 600.
600, that's what I said. And
I'm at 700.
And you're at 700. All right, I wrote that part down. It is
that's
Unified National Thread. UNT. The Unified National Thread is actually, it's not UNT, it's UNF or UNC system. The American standard was directly influenced by that.
And our standard is SAE, right?
No, SAE stands for, no. You'll have to give me a minute on that one. It's the standard
American.
That's different. That's sizing in like bolts and nuts. That's
and
not
sockets.
in threads.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's the UNF or UNC system, and it has to do with the pitch and angle of the threads, right? So like when you see
like
number 10.
a number 10 at 18.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Number 10 is the size, and 18 is like the threads per inch, I think is what it is.
Yep.
Okay. All right. My monitor keeps cutting out. Okay, moving on. The birth of the screwdriver, which had to hurt. The screwdriver itself first appeared in Europe in the 15th century. No points here. What was it called?
The thread pusher.
You're close. I mean, they were very uninventive with this name, but this is what they called screwdrivers.
Threader.
What does it do to a screw?
Drives.
The driver. The turner.
Yeah, turn screw. It was called the turn screw. On a bunch of losers. It was used with the hand cut slotted screws. They used it like in armor, firearms, fine cabinetry. Today we found it in the threshold of a sliding glass door from the 70s. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. So for centuries, that single slot was the standard, but it had a major flaw. The driver would slip out easily, And what is that called? This is also
Slop.
not another. No. So think about it when it kind of pops out of there when you're doing it. What do they call that? When you're driving a screw and it like kind of pops out. And I'll give you both a clue.
Stripping it.
I'll give you a clue. It has to do with a shaft that's in your car engine.
The camshaft?
Cam out is what that's called in screw driving terms. Because so if you think about it, like pops out, it would easily cam out, especially under pressure. So then came the early 1900s and the Canadian Revolution. We'll get on to that in a second. So now it's time for trivia question number 3 and 4. What would you guys like to bet for the next question?
150 here.
Okay, so Ross has bet 150, and you're doing what?
5-0.
5-0, okay. Who invented the Phillips head screw, and what was unique about it? Question, answer A, Henry Phillips, self-centering cross design. B, William Torx, 6-point star. C, Thomas Robertson, square drive. D, John Whitworth, tapered slot. Who invented the Phillips head screw?
Got it. Locked in.
Okay. Are you locked in? It's don't overthink it.
Yeah. Wait. Okay.
Do you need me to read them again?
Nope. I'm good.
Okay. All right. What do you have, Ross?
A, Henry Phillips.
That is, yeah. And what do you have, Justin?
I have A as well.
Okay, A as well. Good. You guys are both back up. All right, Ross, you're back up to 850, and Justin, you're at 650. All right, very good. Henry Phillips patented the crosshead screw in 1936, designed to self-center and slip out at the correct torque, perfect for early assembly lines, which is why Ford started using them to put their cars together, because they liked that it wouldn't strip before it was tight, right? Or it wouldn't. They couldn't over-tighten it. It would pop out before they would over-tighten it. All right, next question. How many would you like to bet?
200.
Okay, it's 200 for Ross. How much would you like to bet, Justin?
50.
Another 50?
Yep.
Okay, and which inventor actually beat Phillips to the punch with the square drive screw but failed to commercialize it globally? Wah wah.
Daniel Craig.
Is it Henry Ford, A, B, P.L. Robertson, C, Thomas Edison, or D, Eli Whitney? Keep thinking.
I'm good.
I'm locked in.
Okay. What is your answer, Justin?
B.
And what do you have, Ross?
C, Thomas Edison.
Incorrect. It is P.L. Robertson screw. I see him call that on electrical plates. They'll call it a Robertson screw, but it's a
Justin,
square,
were you correct?
Drive. Yes.
Yeah, was that B?
Justin was
B.
correct?
Yeah, Justin was correct.
So he's at 700.
So now
I'm
you're
at 650.
Yeah, that's right. He's at 700. You're at 650. P.L. Robertson. So he was a Canadian. That's what we were talking about earlier. He invented the square drive screw in 1908. And it was stronger and simpler than the Phillips and easier to make. But he was like a jerk and didn't want to license it internationally. So Phillips did. And so it became like, the big thing, global winner. All right. So a little more history for you guys. So the Phillips screw dominated early automotive and aviation manufacturing. The Torx drive arrived in 1960s, invented by Camcar Textron, offering more torque and less cam out, which we all love those now. The Pozidrive drive, spelled with a Z, Pozidriv.
Extra Z for extra flavor.
Yeah, a Phillips improvement came from Europe, commonly used in furniture and cabinet screws today, right? Pozidrive.
Which one is that? Like, what does it look like?
Pozidrive? It's kind of hard to explain. You'll have
it's
to
just like a Phillips with imagine the X being offset a little bit more, so it adds like another little grip, and then the Phillips head would have another little slot on each of the little 4 openings.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't even look it up. Okay.
We use them a lot at Periwinkler.
Okay. Well, there you go. And Alan.
And yes, you have to use the Posi drive and not a Phillips head because it won't work.
Okay. Gotcha. So, and
Allen
then there's
wrenches. I hate Allen wrenches.
Allen hex sockets. I kind of like Allen screws. the problem is that like when you get them with like the furniture you buy, like cheap furniture,
Yeah.
they're made out of soft metal and they
Yes,
suck.
and Allen wrenches suck. That's the problem.
Yeah, an Allen, like a machine Allen screw, like all our Grizzly equipment's all Allen screws,
Yeah.
and they're pretty tough.
Yes.
But like
The
those
cheap
are
soft
hardened.
metal are not good.
No. They were originally for set screws and machinery, and they provided higher torque and like a clean look. Okay. All right. So we got a couple more questions coming up then based on this. How much would you like to bid, Ross?
200, Bob.
Oh, okay.
Keep the streak at 50 going.
Okay, 200, and then less stress at 50. Question number 5. Why did Torx heads become preferred for automotive assembly over Phillips? Was it A, cheaper tooling, B, no cam out at high torque, C, prettier design, or D, easier to manufacture?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Okay, what do you got, Ross?
I have Bravo, no cam out at high torque.
And Justin?
I went with D.
Incorrect. It is B. Ross got that correct. No cam out at higher torque. 6 lobe pattern provides a greater surface area for torque, eliminating cam out. So I guess at first they liked that, and now that they don't. So now Ross is back up to
850. He's at 650.
Mm-hmm.
He's at 650. All right. Next one. Next question. What would you like to bid?
200, Bob.
Yeah, give me the 200.
Okay, we're going to do the 200. The Allen key was first marketed by which American tool company? Was it A, Irwin, B, Armstrong Brothers Tool Company, C, Snap-on, D, Craftsman?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Okay, what do we got, Justin?
Delta.
Delta, Craftsman. What about you, Ross?
I have Bravo, Armstrong.
That is correct. It is Armstrong Brothers Tool Company. All right, you are down to 450, and Ross is all the way up to 1,050.
Dang.
All right, moving along. Very good. So Armstrong Brothers Tool Company is a company out of Chicago. Chicago introduced the hex socket screw system around 1910, branding it with the Allen name after William G. Allen's patent. All right, so I think this is one of my favorite words. Metallurgy and material science. So simply put, early screws were soft iron or brass. By the 20th century, alloy steels became standard, often medium carbon steels. So we're going to start talking about grades here. Grade 5 or quenched and tempered steel, which is grade 8. For corrosion resistance, stainless steel. So you got 304 stainless, 316 stainless. Then there's like bronze and like galvanized coatings became like pretty much everything, right? It's painted ones now. All right. So we got a couple questions on that. What would you like to bid, Ross?
Keep it going. 200, Bob.
All right. And Justin?
I keep it at 100.
Okay, a hundy. Which metal alloy provides the best combination of corrosion resistance and strength for marine grade screws? Is it A, brass, B, 316 stainless, C, zinc alloy, D, carbon steel?
Can you say the answers again?
Yes, brass, 316 stainless, zinc alloy, or carbon steel. Resistance for marine grade screws. Locked. Okay, what do we got?
I have Bravo, 316 stainless steel.
What about you, Justin?
I went with C.
You went with C. Okay, the correct answer is 316 stainless steel.
Yeah.
Which is what Monel staples are made out of, actually. So, yeah, because 306 isn't marine grade. It'll still rust a little bit. It doesn't have enough. I think what it is the tin and chromium or whatever that they put in it that keeps it, makes it stainless. Okay, so Ross is up to 1250 and you are down to 350. All right, next question. What process?
Hold on, wait.
You got a bid. You got a bid.
I'm going to do 200 again, Bob.
Okay.
How hard is this next question?
I cannot tell you that.
Let me get 100.
Okay, another 100. What process hardens steel screws by heating them above critical temperature and then rapidly cooling them? Is it A, case hardening, B, quenching and tempering, C, annealing, or D, cold rolling?
Can you read those answers again?
Absolutely. Which process hardens steel screws by heating them above critical temperature and then rapidly cooling them? Is it A, case hardening, B, quenching and tempering, C, annealing, D, cold rolling?
Locking.
Locked in?
I'm locked.
What do we got?
Bravo.
I also have Bravo, quenching and
All right,
tempering.
they are both correct. That
All
is
right.
both correct.
Woo.
All right. So Justin's up to 450 and Ross is up to 1450. All right.
Golly.
Very good, guys. So the quenching and tempering, they heat it to about 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. And then they rapidly cool it. Then reheating, it gives you screws the toughness to handle the torque without snapping. So the tempering part is where I think, I almost feel like they heat it up to another temperature and then let it slowly cool. And so then it's like hardened, but it's still like not brittle.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. So grade strengths and standards. All right. Bolt screws are graded for strength. Right. So grade 2, low carbon, basic. Grade 5, medium carbon, quenched and tempered. Grade 8, high strength alloy, 150,000 plus PSI tensile strength.
Wow.
All right. Metric fasteners use a similar system like 8.8, 10.9, 12.9. The higher, the stronger. Right?
Okay.
All right. This is a hard question coming up. So what... Well, I mean, they're multiple choice. How hard could it possibly be? What do you guys want to bid?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to keep it going with 200.
All right.
50.
Okay. All right. Question number 9. On a metric bolt stamped 10.9, what does the 0.9 indicate? Is it hardness, 90% yield to tensile strength ratio, alloy percentage, or thread pitch?
Can you read the question one more time?
Yes. On a metric bolt stamped 10.9, what does the 0.9 indicate? Hardness, or B, 90% yield to tensile strength ratio, C, alloy percentage, or D, thread pitch?
Okay. Locked.
You locked in?
Yep.
Hobart? All right,
Yep.
what do you guys got?
Delta.
I also have Delta thread pitch.
Incorrect. Incorrect, both of you. So Ross, you're down to 1250.
Yep.
And
What's the
you are
answer?
down to 400. I've started a new page, so 1250.
Tell me it's not B.
My guess is
B.
It is B. Okay.
Yeah, it is B.
Always got to go with the longest.
Because I
answer.
just said
You were
metric
talking about,
fasteners
yeah.
use a similar system. Yeah, you should have paid attention. All right.
Yeah.
So 1250, 400. All right. So Ross, I got to write smaller. 1250 and Jay.
Can we get a daily double in here?
Yeah, at the end, you guys are going to get to double your bid. So 400. All right. Next question. Which
Hold on.
global...
Wait. Are we bidding?
Sorry. Yes, what's your bid? What's your bid?
I'll let Justin bid first.
200. I'm gonna go.
So Ross, you're up
here.
to
1250.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
What
going
are
to
you bidding,
stay at
Justin?
200. We're both at 200.
200.
Okay, 200s. Which global standard organization maintains the specifications for modern screw and bolt grades? What these geeks?
What?
Is it ANSI, ISO, SAE, or ASME?
Repeat the question, please.
Which global standard organization maintains the specifications for modern screw and bolt grades? ANSI, ISO, SAE, or ASME?
Locked.
Locked.
What do we got?
I have Bravo ISO.
What do you have,
I'm in
Justin?
Delta.
Incorrect. It is ISO. Very good, Ross. You are at
All right.
1450.
I'm at
And
200.
Justin, you're at 200. All right. International Organization for Standardization. Manages most global fastener standards. All right, very good, guys. All right, moving on. Now we're on to power fastening, right? This is like what we do every day. Today's screwdrivers have evolved beyond flat and Phillips. We've got impact drivers, torque sensors, magnetic bits, quick change chucks. Fasteners have coatings that resist rust, friction, even galvanic corrosion, which is big in aviation mechanics. Companies like Hilti, DeWalt, Bosch, Makita, they innovate like fascinating tech. Even testing smart drivers that stop automatically when a screw hits proper torque, right? So based on that, what would you like to bid for the next question?
I'm going to stick with it. 200.
All right, 200.
I got to tone it down to 50.
All right, we're going to 50. Okay, question 11. Which innovation allows modern impact drivers to deliver high torque without twisting the user's wrist? This is an interesting question. Is it A, brushless motors, B, spring hammer mechanism, C, magnetic clutch, or D, dual gearing? What makes an impact driver work? All right,
Lock.
we got it?
Yep.
All right, what's your answer, Ross?
C, magnetic clutch.
And what
I
about
have
you?
C.
Both incorrect.
Oh.
It is a spring hammer mechanism. A hammer and anvil type mechanism builds rotational energy, releasing it in bursts, more torque, less strain. So, Ross, you're down to 1250.
He's at 150.
Justin at 150. All right, so what do you want to bet on the next question?
I'm going to keep it rolling at 200.
50.
All right, and the question is, what recent advancement has revolutionized screw coatings for corrosion resistance? This is a little too easy for Ross. Is it powder coating, ceramic nano coatings, chrome plating, or cold galvanizing?
Locked.
Okay, what do we got?
Ceramic, ceramic coating.
B, I have B.
Okay, that is both correct. You guys did very good. So back up to 1450, and you are at 200. All right. So we are now in the bonus rounds.
Yay!
Okay. So everything you bid can be doubled. If you get it wrong, you do not lose double.
Okay.
So it's a little fun part at the end. Maybe you can catch up. All right. Bonus question number 1. This is very advanced.
Do we got to throw out a bid first? What do we?
Let's just set a standard bid for all of these questions. How about that? That'll make it go faster.
Okay.
What would your standard bid like to be, Ross?
200 for mine.
Okay, sticking with the 200. And what about you?
I'm going to just stick with the 50.
All right, you should have done the 200. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. What's the technical name for the spiral angle of the threads on a screw? Is it the thread slope, helix angle, pitch line, or lead ratio?
Say it again.
Is it the thread slope, the helix angle, pitch line, or lead ratio?
Lock.
Okay.
Okay. Locked.
Okay. What do you got, Justin?
C.
And you, Ross?
I have A, thread slope.
You are both incorrect.
Oh.
So it is the helix angle. The helix angle, the geometrical spiral of the thread, affects how efficiently a screw converts torque into clamping force. All right. So Ross, you're just down to 1250, and you are down to 150. Okay. Next question. Which company patented the first self-tapping screw used in sheet metal work? Was it Parker and Smith, Irwin, Stanley, Snap-on?
I'm locked.
Locked.
Okay, what do we got?
A.
I also have A, Parker and Smith.
That is correct. You both got it right. So Ross, you're up 400 points. You're at 1650, and Justin, you are at 250. All right, very good. In aerospace, next question.
Oh.
In aerospace engineering, Hi-Lock, HI-LOK fasteners combine what two elements? Is it A, threaded shank and locking collar, B, self-tapping screw and adhesive, C, rivet and torque nut, or D, bolt and spring washer?
Locked.
Locked.
Okay, what do we got?
I have C, rivet and torque nut.
Let's see.
And both incorrect.
Oh.
It is the threaded shank and locking collar. So Ross, you are down now to 1450.
I'm at 200.
And you're at 200. Okay. So Hi-Lock uses a bolt with a threaded shank and a collar that locks at precise torque. Lightweight, reliable, tamper-resistant, used heavily in aircraft assembly. Also, back to the question before this, the self-tapping screw.
Yep.
They invented that in 1913. 1913.
1913?
1913. Sorry, it slips out sometimes. Yeah, it's called the Parker Kalon self-tapping screw. All right, here we go. This is a tricky one. I only know this from having to buy parts for my Grizzly stuff. When you see a metric screw labeled M8 by or X 1.25, what does the 1.25 represent? So is it A, the screw's depth in millimeters, B, the distance between thread peaks in millimeters, C, the radius of the screw head, or D, the thread angle?
Can you read the answers one more time?
Yes. So M8 by 1.25, what's the 1.25 represent? Is it the screw's depth in millimeters, the distance between thread peaks in millimeters, the radius of the screw head, or the thread angle?
Locked.
Locked.
Okay, what do we got?
C.
I have Bravo.
Bravo is correct.
Yes.
So basically, it is like your threads per inch. It's threads per millimeter, basically, thread peaks. So every 1.25 millimeters is another thread, right?
Yep.
Okay. Moving on. A metric bolt stamped 10.9 follows the international grading. What do those two numbers actually mean? Is it's 10.9 millimeters long, it's a 10 millimeter thread pitch, it's the bolt strength rating 1000 MPa tensile strength 90% yield ratio, or it's compatible only with ISO 10.9 nuts?
Locked.
Locked.
What do you got?
I have C, bolt strength rating.
C as well.
Yeah, all right, both correct. Both correct. You were paying attention. That's right. The 10 represents just a clarification for our listeners. The first number 10 represents the tensile strength in hundreds of megapascals, MP with a small a, so roughly 1,000 MPa. The decimal 0.9 means the yield strength is 90% of that tensile strength. In other words, a 10.9 bolt can handle serious clamping force before stretching. Your average hardware store bolt is like 8.8, and like a heavy-duty automotive bolt and structural bolt, they're like 10.9, and then there's even 12.9 grade, which is like super, super strong. I've also heard that you can tell on a non-metric with the dashes on top of the hex bolt, there's like little lines on the top.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
Nope.
Yeah, so like next time you like, if it's Imperial, you can see there'll be like 3 dashes, or there'll be like 5 dashes, or no dashes. No dashes means it's like low grade. 3 is like, higher grade, and 5 is it's even more. I think it's something to do with that. But that's how they do it in metric. Okay. Moving on. You guys keeping track of your amounts there?
Yep.
Okay. When a bolt is labeled, this is Imperial threads, 1/4-20 UNC. 1/4 -20 UNC. What does the 20 indicate? Is that the bolt's length in inches, the number of threads per inch, the depth of the threads in thousandths, the bolt's hardness rating?
Locked.
Locked.
Okay, what do we got?
Delta.
Bravo. Threads per inch.
Threads per inch is correct. Number 20 is 20 threads per inch, and 1/4 is the diameter. Yeah, that's correct. All right. All right, moving on. Strength grades. An SAE, this is the last question, by the way. SAE bolt grades are identified by marks on the head. Oh, I was right. But how many radial lines does a grade 8 bolt have? Is it 4, 5, 6, or 8?
Locked.
Locked.
D.
Okay.
I have
D.
A4.
Both incorrect.
Oh.
Both incorrect. It is 6. A grade A bolt has 6 on it.
That's so misleading.
So 6 radial lines for grade A bolt. It's made from high strength alloy steel, quenched and tempered for roughly 150,000 psi tensile strength.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, like you'll see on if you're by a cast iron table saw and you have to bolt the cast iron to the other cast iron.
Yep.
Because it has to have massive tensile strength. Those usually have like 3 dashes on them. They're like grade 5, I guess, or whatever. So you guys did really, really good. So basically, from Leonardo da Vinci's thread cutting machine to torque spits to your impact driver, every screw, bolt, and driver we use today represents centuries of trial, error, innovation, things certain companies liked, things other things didn't like. We didn't want to get them too tight. Now we want to get them tighter. So when someone says don't overthink it, it's just a screw, you can reply, yeah, but that screw has 2,000 years of history and metallurgy behind it.
Very nice.
You guys
Very
did
nice.
awesome. Maybe went a little long, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
And Justin, what did you wind up at?
$100.
$100. All right, I will be.
No, you were
that.
actually at 150.
Was I?
Yeah,
Oh.
because you were doing 50 points if it was a negative.
You're right.
So 150, and I ended up at 2450.
All right. Well, I will be sending you guys checks from the Beat Around the Bench podcast bank account.
Love that.
We'll be waiting for those by the mailbox.
Nice.
Yes, very good.
Okay. Well, we are rolling into some things here, so I think we should jump to a snugget if you're up for it, Jess.
Sure.
So, Justin, I know we covered this before, but just to recap it for you, the snugget and or nugget section, or snipe. A snugget is a combination of a nugget or a snipe. A nugget being a piece of information that if you could give all the young woodworkers out there a piece of advice, whether it's a hack or something you've learned along the lines through your travels, you can do that. And or a snipe would be something that it's digging under your skin, something you got to get off your chest. Or both, which would be a snugget. You're learning, but you're really angry about it. So,
this is true.
Jess, do you have anything you want to start with, or do you want me to go?
Sure. I hung a door today, and we bought Justin picked up a craftsman door like handle jig, for like a slab. So It's got the two things. You get the whole saw and you drill in the other thing. It's a piece of SHIT. And then it came with a router bit that was a 1/8 router bit. It goes in your drill, and it's supposed to route out where the latch goes. It did not work at all. It was garbage and a piece of junk. So don't buy that.
Don't buy it.
But here is a nugget. Buy you a nice little 600, 400, or 1,400 or whatever diamond plate with the rubber bottom with like a little plastic cover, and keep it in your bag. And that way, when you're working on door locks and chisels and stuff like that, you just need to give it a quick little, not a very good sharpen, but you can do it by hand. And so you can kind of just slightly sharpen your chisels in the field, especially when you're having to do stuff like that, because you never know, you might hit a knot or something and dull it really bad. Keep some simple sharpening tools with you, especially if you're doing a lot of chisel work, because it's nice. It's very nice to have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ross, by the way, sharpens his so that it cuts. Like if he pushes it through the air, it creates a sonic boom. Like it cuts the air. Like
It's true.
He strobes them with leather while he talks to his children. It's very weird.
Yeah, if the amount of times that I'm using chisels and then I look down, I'm like, where's the blood coming from? And I don't realize that my chisels have like nicked me somewhere and they're just that sharp that I never felt it. I'm like, good. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, like it's incredible until you bled all over a piece.
Though, don't you?
I do.
He has a very expensive like sharpening thing, which is important to him because he likes to do handwork. And
do you have like? Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I bought the jig on Amazon that holds it at just the perfect angle, and that does work.
How often do you sharpen your chisels?
I don't use them that much, but I'll stroke them just about every time on that diamond thing a few times on the 1000 grit before I start. But like they're not very good ones, so they get like nicks in them. I need to grind it down to where I'm like back to a straight edge. And, they start to get crooked and stuff by doing it by hand like that in the field. So I need to do something.
You should. Yeah.
Well, send me. Well, you just won like a whole bunch of money. You can buy me a Tormek.
Well, tell you what, you can take it out of my winnings, Jess.
Okay.
So I actually have a snipe and a nugget, not to combine each other, but separate ones. Snipe wise, I don't know if because the season has changed, there are more elderly drivers who are back up in my neck of the nape.
Correct.
But in the last week, I have seen no less than 4, maybe 5 near severe accidents where
Is it raining a lot or anything?
No, we've had one rain shower in like 3 weeks, and it was this past Saturday. But it's people who are back as of like October 1st. Or they should be like going down to you guys. I don't know, but like timing wise, I've seen literally people making up their own parking spots wherever they feel like. I've seen people driving up onto curbs and almost hitting kids. I've seen, I was telling you guys earlier, I yesterday had a woman who was probably in her early to mid 80s trying to turn into an on-ramp for the highway. And she turned into oncoming traffic and almost got hit by like 3 lanes of traffic and just sat there looking at all of us like, why are you guys going the wrong way? She could not figure it out. I know ageism is a thing, and I don't mean to be this guy, but like there's a genuine safety concern for those who are not elderly out on the road or off of the road who may get hit. So if you have family members who are aging and you're starting to get worried about their driving, please show the love for them and those around them and potentially have them take a driver's test again. Yeah,
have a discussion. Don't
they
in some places make them take it after a certain age?
Yeah, so after 70, you have to take it every 2 or 3 years, and after 80, it's every year.
Huh.
So, they make them take it, but
insurance goes through the roof.
I was on the phone with Jess just 2 days ago, and I was getting ready to go through an intersection. My light just turned green, and a car blew the red light and T-boned a Charger into a semi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that could have been Justin, but I distracted him at the house, and he was one car length behind and saved him.
Yep.
Here's a quick joke to lighten the mood, but it pertains to this. 2 old ladies are sitting in a big old Cadillac, and they're driving down the road, and they come up to a stoplight, and they end up just blowing right through it. And the woman who is in the passenger seat is looking around. She's like, I could have sworn we were supposed to stop back there, but they keep going and they get to the next block and same thing happens. Blow right through a red light and just keep going. She's like, oh, this is starting to get worrying. And they get to the third light and then once again, red light, blow right through it like nothing happened. And the lady in the passenger seat looks over. She goes, Ethel, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure we just blew through 3 red lights. Are you okay? And Ethel looks over. She goes, oh, my God, am I driving? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is my snipe. Just it's worrisome. It's scary. I have kids who, ride their bike to school and are in, just the downtown areas of our town. And I've seen people literally like run up on a curb because they're trying to go to the library, and it's scary. So just take care of your loved ones. But anyway, my nugget is when using an airless sprayer, take the time to actually read what nozzle or tip you're supposed to use with that sprayer based upon what you're spraying. I learned the very hard way as I am redoing now the entire paint job on because I have to change the gloss and everything else. But like there were so many drips in areas where I had clumps and just blotches, and it didn't look right. I have to now go back, sand off everything, and repaint, reprep everything to make sure that this looks correct for the customer. Had I been using the right tip, I don't think I would have had any of these issues with drips and everything else. So take the time, learn your tools, learn what you should be using based on what surface you're painting, all those kind of things. But like learn the ins and outs of your tools and the accessories that come with them, and you will be exponentially better as a craftsman or a craftsperson utilizing said tools.
I know a lot of people will like collect like old cabinet doors from like cabinets they take down
Mm-hmm.
and use them as like testers. And they'll test out because if it's like their paint, like because if a different color, it's a different viscosity. Like if it's a different paint, different humidity, different whatever, and they'll like test it out and see how it takes to see if it drips and stuff like that. And even like see and wait and like let it dry and see if it does it the way they want it to.
Yeah.
Before they actually hit their real piece. Might be time consuming, but maybe at the end of the day it wouldn't be because you might
Saves
not know
you
it's
the
a
time
failure.
and not having to fix it.
Right? Yeah. Like what if you get done and like you come back the next day and it's all drippy or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
So for sure.
So that's where I'm at on that. Justin, what do you got?
All right, so I think I got 2 for you. So I got a snipe. Mine I think kind of relates. Probably we've all had this situation, but I thoroughly do not enjoy when you go to take on a project and you have all the set boundaries of this is what I'm going to do, and then like almost in your instance of then you go to deliver said project and they want it to be a 18th century fine piece of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, you only purchased this, but you wanted the Da Vinci.
Yes. I have run into that many times, even in the project I'm doing now.
Right.
Yes.
And just dealing with those type of customers is a horrible experience sometimes.
Yes, and to that point, I can say over communication from square one is definitely the better way to go so that everybody's on the same page. But I only know that from years of experience of showing up with a project that you talked about, you said you were going to build, you build it, and they go, oh, that's, kind of not what I was thinking. So,
right. And that's, I mean, honestly, why, the personal projects scare me a little bit sometimes is because, like, for instance, I did the box for a guy with a storage bin for a Jeep Wrangler. And the guy wasn't hard to deal with whatsoever. It was just things that I wanted to do to it or make it. And, like you said, the communication is always the best.
Yeah. Yep. So what was your good one or your nugget?
So my nugget is for the new woodworkers, I guess would be, when I had first started off doing just like the Dremel signs and stuff like that is to not, just to try something.
Mm-hmm.
And first and foremost is to not make the excuses.
Yep.
Because yes, there, no matter you don't have a space to work in, go find, you
Go
don't have,
outside.
go outside, or, you have limited space, get smaller tools and just work in smaller areas. And I think one of my biggest things would be like worrying about what people think of the outcome of the project,
Mm-hmm.
especially at first, because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it can just, you might think it's not great because I'm, hard on myself when it comes to, the end result, but other people might be like, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, the
Yeah.
chaos boards. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
God, I hate
Ross
those.
hates a chaos board, and people are like, "I want that. I want that
Yeah.
thing right there. Yeah, it's like gorgeous. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're all Justin. I will say I've worked with Justin for a while now, and I mean his only thing is he overthinks too much. He is so precise, and he's done all that veneer stuff. Like he's the one that did that wingay thing. He did the whole thing,
Nice.
and that wingay was perfect. It looked like we bought it. And you know how hard it is to work with paperback veneer wingay, and it was quarter sawn. And he did it all with contact cement. It wasn't even like he had a vacuum bag. And
Yeah.
it was perfectly straight, perfect. He's really, really quite good with all that stuff. And so he has a really good eye for detail. And then
Awesome.
some of the stuff he's worried about, I'm like, bro, look, it's in the back of the cabinet. It'll be fine. Like, let's just move on here. Yeah. So as you work in the business, because it's one thing if you're making it for yourself,
Mhm.
and money's really not like the biggest concern, time's not a concern. But when you're in a business, it's like, all right, what can I get away with? Not that we're dealing with quality, but like, oh, this little thing here's messed up in the back. Well,
Mm-hmm.
does it really matter? It's the back of a drawer. Like nobody's ever going to see it. Like, let's just, make it look nice and keep it moving because time is definitely money. And right now, the custom furniture, custom woodworking field is in great dismay because unless you're just one guy in a garage with no overhead, I don't know how anybody makes any money. Either you have a big contract with a big commercial company and they don't even understand money, or you're dealing that's where you have like a massive place where you have a massive online presence and you're selling thousands of units. It's really hard to get people to understand, like, yeah, it's $20,000 for us to make these built-ins for your closet because it's going to take us 3 weeks. It's going to take 3 guys. It's going to take $4,000 in materials. We have to come into your house. We have to tear it off. We got 3 days of install. Well, we have to pay everybody. We have overhead. We have insurance. We're all legit. And then we might make a few $1,000s off of that. Like, you know what I mean? So, it's not we're trying to rip people off, but it's just good people cost money.
Even on the projects that I'm doing now, the jewelry cabinets, I was only supposed to make like $85 in profit on this after labor because this was a friend of one of my best customers. So I was doing it as like a favor to them. And I've lost my ass on hours and labor and now having to go back and spend more money. I'm in the red on this project for sure.
Is she going to pay for the upgrade on the paint?
I'm going to make sure it comes out of the pieces that I have to build the divider walls. So,
yeah, if they want to upgrade the paint, that's different. Yeah. I would charge them. Well, like I told you and I told Colton many, many years ago, we're not practicing anymore. We're not doing favors. It's not a charity.
No, this was something that it was like I was if all had gone well and it was built on time, it would have been a project that I was like, okay, I'm still making money. It's not a ton of money, but I'm, I
in
was
the green.
That is one thing I would ask you guys, since you do have more years of experience, especially in like the estimation world of stuff, and because that's one thing that I did struggle very, very much with as like a beginning woodworker is how in the world do I charge for this? Because you're starting off, so you don't want to charge like you are some professional, but you still want to try to make a little
Yes, you
bit of
do.
money.
Yes, you do.
Right. But it's
So
for me, it was scary to try to charge money because you want to
so
get. Go ahead.
Yeah, on that note, there's a few schools of thought. And Jess, I know you come from more the commercial shop side and now the construction side. Um, but I will say, the hobbyist who wants to start doing more projects for customers, there's kind of a path that you could and or should take. Option one is kind of put out rough ads or talk to friends and neighbors or whatever else and say, listen, I have 5 projects that I want to make. These are the 5 kind of things that I think I can do really well, but I need some experience in doing them. So option one, you guys pay for literally just the materials. So all of my materials are covered. And then you can then get high-end photography pictures of those and charge, because then you'll know with these materials, it took me this long to build this project. And then you can build out the hours based on that to then charge what it should cost. And then you
And it'll
have
be
high
faster
end.
the second time too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have high end pictures of those things to then be able to advertise.
And keep
Option.
plans.
Yes. Option two is if somebody comes to you with a random custom quote in their or a custom project where they're like, I want you to build me this. You go, well, I don't honestly know how long it's going to take me, but here's my material list and I'm going to double it because that'll cover if I have to get more materials and I'm getting more knowledge out of it. And then once again, you can get pictures at the end. That way, you're at least covered on that regard. Those are the 2 easiest ways. There's a lot more formulation, but the hardest part is knowing how long it's actually going to take to build it. Jess and I are big proponents of using SketchUp to then be able to say, I know this is the exact amount of material I'm going to need. You order 20% more material just in case you get something that's not great. But overall, you build everything based on, I know my exact cut list, I know my exact build ratios and material list, and then it's kind of putting everything together from there. Um, that would be a better guesstimation on like, okay, this is a random project I've never done. Let me take the time to do the SketchUp build out, and then you have plans that are like really good plans that you could sell thereafter.
So I have lately it's evolved a little bit. One, I'm a big proponent of the SketchUp, but this is just a word of advice. Do not give your customer, or let me put it to you this way: I do not give my customer the SketchUp drawings or even a good hand drawing until they've paid a deposit. Because in a market like ours, they take that and give it to somebody else and get a lower price. They can use that to bid other things, and we can talk specificity. I can give them a rough drawing. We can talk dimensions. We can talk about wood. We can talk about all those things. But I'm not going to take hours to draw them a SketchUp drawing unless it's something very simple until they pay at least a small deposit, because then at least I know and the 25% of the deposit is not refundable. Because I can't tell you how many people have come to me with other people's drawings and they don't care. And the drawing says like, this is like copyright, and they don't care. Like who's going to like, who's going to check that stuff? So I don't give anybody the drawings unless maybe I know them or I don't know. But every single one that I've given a SketchUp drawing to before they made a deposit disappeared.
So strangely, that hasn't happened to me on the custom furniture side, but I can imagine how that would happen on the construction side.
No, this is the custom furniture side. This is the custom furniture side because they want to take your bid, and we're bidding like real high end stuff, and they're taking it to other wood shops, and they're like, I like this, this guy did this. Can you change it? They don't even have any discussion with you because your price is too high. So the second thing is that, and this is now coming from an outside source. My wife has been working with me for a while, right? And it didn't take her 3 months before she said, "You said it's going to take this long, and it's taken this long." She's like, "You are never right. You're never right. You've never been right. You're never going to be right on a custom thing because
Yeah.
you don't. There's
Never.
too many variables."
Yep.
Or there might be something you need to do, or a piece of equipment breaks down, or you might have to go do estimates, and then like your time, is so like we were just looking at the schedule for like stuff like little like punch out stuff we had to do at this house, and she's like, "You're not gonna have this done in 2 days. It's gonna take you." Like I'm gonna give you until this day on the calendar. This is what we're gonna do. If you get it done before, perfect. But if you don't, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, figure out your materials, okay, and give it a little buffer, and then add 20%. Okay, and that gives you a little money. If you're going to have things delivered, the delivery fee should be there, and add 20%. Right? If you're going to purchase materials for a customer, you're going to handle the materials, you're going to deliver, or have to pick them up in some cases. That covers you a little bit extra. That's including tax and everything. Right? So if I had $1,000 of materials, I'm charging them $1,200. Right, for the materials. That's not a big markup at all. So. And you can, if you're getting a really good deal on the materials, honestly, I would kind of look what retail, like average retail is, and charge them average retail, not the deal you're getting.
Correct.
Just because you had some oak left over from another job, they should be paying what oak is worth now, right? And then add 20% to that. All right, so there's your material part. And you'll get, usually I'm over with the materials, very rarely am I under. You really need to think about everything from the hinges to the lights to the graded cabinet stuff. You need to check your prices, call, because sometimes things shoot up, different types of plywood and so on and so forth. If it's something specific like that, or you have to order something or get it rushed, you don't want to do that. So you want to order everything ahead of time, so you don't have to pay for overnight delivery. So figure out all your materials, add 20%, so you're good there. Then figure out about how long it's going to take you. Make a really good guess. Let's say it's going to take me 5 days, 8 hours a day to do it. Well, you always know that it's going to take longer than you think it's going to take. So add 2 more days to that, and you should have an hourly rate that you feel like that you make. Right? When I did my handyman stuff, I had an hourly rate. And to be honest with you, it's usually a lot higher than you think it should be.
Yep.
A good woodworker, if you only have a garage and you're not paying for a commercial space or a rental space, I think somewhere between $50 to $60 an hour is a pretty good thing. That'll keep you in business, that you pays for your electricity, tools, and so on and so forth. If you are renting a space, that's a whole different world, because now you're having to pay for commercial insurance. And that price per hour might be anywhere from $150 to $300 an hour. I don't think for one person, but maybe for 2 people, it might be closer to a couple $100 an hour for that shop time. And then you multiply that times how long you think, plus don't forget about installation, drive time to take it and install it. I think it's going to take me a day to install it, but we know that's going to take longer because there's going to be problems. So let's call it a day and a half or 2 days. So add all that up, and that's what you bid. And you never lose money on a job you don't get. Now, if they come to you like, listen, I really like you, but you're like $1,000 too much, and it's an expensive job, right? And this person, you're like, this other guy, I'm not really sure about him. I know him. I've seen your work. Could you do it for XYZ? And it's just a little bit lower than what you bid. Sure. Yeah.
Because you have some wiggle room built in.
Yeah. I'll earn your business. Sure. Let's do this project for you. It's like $500, $800 cheaper. But, if you're bidding $20,000 on some massive something and they want to do it for $9,000, I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And you never lose money on a job you don't take. Now, are there people out there with low overhead that do a good job and don't care that they only make like $800 a week?
Yeah.
Having their own business? Yeah, there are. And they stay busy. But I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
Not anymore. And that's just not how I want to do things. So that's kind of how I figure out.
For the smaller handyman who's not doing as large of a job as Jess might be, there's a really good tool that was put out by the Made for Profit podcast, which was John Malecki and then Brad from Fix This Build That. They did a podcast a few years back, and their pricing model is probably one of the best I've seen as far as just this is all the things you need to think of and all the things Jess was talking about. If you're building a cabinet, you also need to think besides just wood, you need to talk about what kind of fasteners. Is it screws? Is it dominoes? Are there hinges? What kind of hinges? Is there electrical? Is there lighting?
Do I have to buy a new tool?
Yeah, all those different things fit into it. So that was a really good tool. I think you can get it for $5, $10, something like that. It's well worth the investment because it actually makes you think about not only what all goes into the different projects, but then also what your cost or your bid is going to look like at different profit points. So there's 20, 25, and 30% margins on there. You can adjust it as you need because it's just an Excel file, but it's worth taking a look at. So
a very, very, very simple way when you're very first starting out to figure out things, especially with smaller projects that are not too big of a deal, unless, well, I shouldn't even say that, but you're using like really expensive materials for some reason on something small, like they want, ebony something or whatever. If you take your material price times 20% and triple it, that will give you a pretty good starting point for how much your labor and materials are going to be on something smaller, not something bigger, not something we got to go install and do all that other stuff. But that Daniel Dunlap, that's the way he has done things for a long time. And it's so you got $500 in materials, you charge somebody $1,500. There's some wiggle room for materials in there. Hopefully $500 material, it's gonna take you 2 weeks to build something. So you know what I mean. So it might work out. So that's the way it's got to be.
Well, first of all, awesome discussion. So thank you, Justin, for starting that.
Yeah.
But as a follow-up, if anybody wanted to learn more about you, Justin, or start following you on different socials, how do they do it?
Well, I do. I have my Instagram. It's just jhobart5 on Instagram. I don't really use my Facebook too much, and I haven't posted too much on there, but I probably should get back on there.
Okay.
Yeah, you do. You make some pretty stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why I kind of stopped. I should get back into that.
Me too.
You should.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. I know. I have taken some pictures and videos recently of some of the stuff that we've done. So we should probably put it on there. You should.
Well, as we are approaching the 2-hour point in the podcast, I think it is time to send it on to the long kiss goodnight. Justin, I want to say thank you for coming on in lieu of Colton. For the guests out there, if you've made it to this point of the podcast, Colton's not here because he's driving to Maker Camp right now.
With a kid.
With a child and his wife. And Lord knows they may, try and make another one. I don't know.
It's not his kid, but he found it.
Adventures on the road.
Yeah.
So to all the listeners out there, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button wherever you're listening to this podcast. And thank you very much for tuning in this week. We hope you enjoyed every second of this episode. If you didn't, please send all your complaints to our old-timey, wagon-obsessed legal representation at Seagore and McCoy Law Partners, where their last call to DoorDash was to a brothel, and they were quoted in saying, "Rock me mama like a wagon wheel, rock me mama any way you feel. Hey, mama rock me." For Jess, Colton, and Ross, this has been the Beat Around the Bench podcast, and we will catch you all next time.
See ya.
Bye.